Hi everybody, Sherry Moore here to give you some updates on my writing and a lesson that I have actually been learning over the past couple of weeks as a result of it. As many of you know, my first three books were published through small publishers. I went independent on the fourth book because they did not like me doing a paranormal mystery. They wanted me to take the paranormal element out, but that was popular at the time. So I decided to take a chance and go indie with that one. It actually outsold the ones through publishers, and so I've been going indie ever since. I had good relationships with those publishers, one in particular, but unfortunately, as a sign of the times, first one of those publishers announced earlier this year that they're closing their doors in December, and then I got a notification from the other one who had sold out already that they were dropping the titles from this smaller publisher just 2 weeks ago. Very little notice with that reversion of rights, and it was a bit of a shock, but kind of a pleasant one because this meant that now I'm in full control of all of my books. I can do them all independently. I can make the decisions. I can do what I want. I am no longer bound by contracts. Yay! That's what I was saying 2 weeks ago. As it turns out, going completely independent, it is a lot of work, and this I knew. It's been a learning curve over the past 2 weeks for me. A lot of you may have seen last week that I re-released Splinter, my first sci-fi book. It was one of those books that was affected by this publisher. They reverted rights to me 2 weeks ago. I decided that this was one title that I wanted to republish, had to get a new cover. The content is basically the same, but it has resulted in a little bit of confusion of readers saying, I thought this was through Whiskey Creek Press, but now it's coming out again in more formats. What's going on? Well, that's what's going on. Basically, I got a reversion of rights. I decided to self-publish it to keep it out there. Basically starting anew. I've got a campaign going now on social media. I welcome you to check it out. It was my first sci-fi title. I wrote it actually during National Novel Writing Month back in 2010. That was kind of an interesting time in my life. My job got transferred to a new department around the same time I got tendonitis in my right wrist. And I actually had to quit writing for a period of about 6 months because of that injury. And it was writing Splinter for National Novel Writing Month was kind of a way for me to get back in my writing after that major job change and injury kind of collapsed in on me and forced me to have to put my writing on the back burner for a little while. It was a challenge, but a welcome one. Of course, I love my writing. But now this was one that I wanted to keep it out there. The two mystery titles I'm actually going to use as book funnels. I am not going to be re-releasing anywhere but here or Blurry. I'm going to be using them as giveaways through my newsletter. So keep an eye out for that. Sign up for my newsletter on my website if you're interested in those titles. They will be coming probably later this year, early 2025, once we get all of those issues settled with the reversion rights for Blurry in particular. But that being said, I made a decision that if I was going to bring everything under the Broken Reality banner, I wanted some consistency, and the first thing I wanted to do was to broaden my outreach and offer paperbacks and hardbacks of all of my published novels. That means going through my entire backlist and going through both Kindle, KDP for the Amazon books, and Drafted Digital, which releases them more widely, and dealing with formatting issues and whatnot with that. It's been a process. Actually, I just got back from vacation. My husband and I took a long weekend, a late summer vacation to the beach, and I took an extra day off afterwards to kind of get settled back in and work on some of these writing things that I've been working on over the past 2 weeks. It's been a process. I have emptied this coffee mug a few times this morning and getting through the formatting issues, and it wasn't the text, it was the book covers. I'm not a graphic artist. I've talked before about how it takes a team. It really does. And one thing that I've realized was when I released Blurry, I did have a paperback option. It sold a little bit, but in the end, it quit selling, and I was only selling ebook versions, so I decided to get away from physical books. Well, as it turns out, it seems that Instagram and TikTok have made paperbacks and hardbacks popular again with readers. So now that demand is back. I experimented with having paperbacks and hardbacks of Singularity when I released it a year ago, and that actually worked out pretty good. So I thought, well, I need to go through my backlist and do this. It's been a job. Being independent means 100% responsibility, and that's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that you're in full control. You can work on your own schedule. You're on your own timetable. You get to do it your way. You're not bound by any kind of deadlines. You don't have to worry about going on a printer, getting a reversions right email during your lunch hour one day when you don't expect it. But the bad thing is, you have to learn a wide variety of skills. And as I have also said before, I'm just getting into the marketing and reader outreach. It took me, I put a lot into learning how to be a decent writer, trying to be a good, solid writer. Now I'm working on the reader outreach and marketing aspect of it. Well, here over the past couple of weeks, the worlds have kind of collided. And I've had to start thinking, okay, well, the paperbacks are selling again, so I need to get those formatted and out. You've got your rules here. Amazon will only allow you to upload 3 titles per day because of the increase of AI and people just flooding their system with low content books. It was their way to kind of bring that a little bit more under control. It's frustrating, but I understand it. Them's the rules, as I like to say, and so I just do my 3 titles per day, and it's going slow, but by the end of this week, all of my books that are eligible should be in paperback and hardback on Amazon by the end of this week. Drafted digital, we've had some cover issues, some of them with the text too close to the cover, and like I said, I'm not a graphic artist, so I've been kind of wrestling with that. Still trying to work that out. And one issue that I just can't get around, there's just nothing to be done for it, is some books, particularly the Earthside box set, was too long to put out in physical form. Some books, like the books in the 4th quarter, were too short to put out in physical form. And then I've been kind of wrestling with the Sentient series, and that it's a 4-novella series. So I want a physical copy of the full series, but I have to ask myself if it's worth it to do such a short book that barely meets the minimum requirements. It really would be better for the readers just to buy the whole set and leave it at that. But be that as it may, what I'm trying to point out here is it's been trial and error. A lot of it. A lot of error messages, a lot of you forgot this step, you didn't do that, oh no, your text is too close to the margins, you've got to try again, well, I don't like that, now your aspect ratio's out of whack, and the pains of being a writer. You learn exactly where you suck. Most writers are really great at creating it, writing it. We can even get the text conversions down. We can get all that formatting done. But boy, with me, when it comes to cover design, I'm no artist. When I was in kindergarten, I got so frustrated, I just decided to paint the easel legs on my smock instead of the paper because it just wasn't working out for me. And well, I thought I was creative. Nobody else did. But hey, we all Bubbles just chirp. We all have our ways. But the point that I would like to make in talking about some of these struggles and issues that I've been wrestling with is you're going to screw up. You're going to fail. And you're probably going to embarrass yourself in the process. That's just the way that it is. And this is not me as a Gen X kid who was just kind of thrown out there with the wolves and figure it out. And when you screw up, you'll have to fix it, and then you'll know the right way to do it. It's not just that. It's life, And I also have a day job. I have been working, outside of the home full time for, 28 years now. And I can tell you, a lot of times people are like, well, I want step-by-step instructions that tell me how to do it, fail-safe, dummy-proof, da-da-da-da-da. That's not life. That's not life. You're going to screw up. You're going to be embarrassed. Heck, I've been in the same job for 26 years. I got pinged last week on something. It just happens. Nobody knows everything, and we're not going to do it right or perfectly the first time. These things happen, and you just kind of have to take it with a grain and learn from it, gain wisdom from it, and just, pride's a sin for a reason. It's because it really can stand in our way. Swallow it, learn what you can from it, just get smarter, get wiser, learn things that you didn't know. You can do hard things. It's going to require patience, and it also requires you having grace with yourself. It is embarrassing to screw up, and it's embarrassing to make mistakes, and it's frustrating to have to redo things 4, 5, 6 times, and it won't seem to stick, and you're just like, oh my God, is this even solvable? I think this is impossible, but other people have done it. You can too. I got a charm recently for myself that says never, never give up. And it was actually when I was starting this process of bringing everything under the Broken Reality banner. I knew that going through my backlist was going to be a weighty job and that there was going to be missteps along the way. And there have been. And it was just to remind me, you can do this. You've just got to be patient with yourself. You've got to grant yourself grace. You've got to give yourself time to learn what you need to learn. Know when to ask for help. If you need help, know when to ask for it. Know where to find it. And just have grace with yourself. Nobody's perfect. We fail our way to success. We really do. You can do it. You've got to be patient with yourself. You've got to be patient with others. And it's going to be frustrating and it's going to be aggravating and you're going to get outdone. Being a perfectionist does not serve you. Good enough has to be good enough for you at a point. It will sabotage you otherwise. So just sometimes you have to release your grip and just admit, okay, one more time. Just one more time. We're going to go at this one more time. We're going to try again one more time. Just don't give up. And if you're sitting in a place now where you just feel like you can't get it right, you're beating your head against a wall, you just can't seem to make a breakthrough, take a deep breath, maybe take a step back. Just open yourself up to learn and to gather new knowledge, new wisdom that will help you along the way. I've been at this particular one for 2 weeks, but I'm dedicated because I really believe in it and I want it out there for you. I want to reach my readers and I want to give my readers the books in the formats that they like, that they want. And that's a good thing. So just hang in there. If your intentions are good, just keep praying, keep trying, don't give up. If you need to take a break, walk away for a minute, that's okay. Do that. I went to the beach. I went to the beach. Really, that kind of gave me the breakthrough that I needed to put some things into perspective and really get a better idea of what needed to happen. So just, you've got to know your timing. And all things will work together for good. So don't lose hope, don't lose heart, and don't get upset or frustrated with yourself. We all make those missteps. We all make those mistakes. God's mercies are new every morning. Take advantage of that and just keep going. You can do it. And that's all I've got for you today. You have a great week. Bye.